What's going on? The Mets, they're in the playoff race. Let's get into it. What's going on, Born for Sports? You know, these New York Mets, I tell you, they have really turned things around since June. I ain't gonna lie to you guys. I didn't have big expectations for the New York Mets coming into the season. I felt like they could hang around during the season and probably possibly hang out and try to get a wild card spot. But that's exactly what's going on. And those first couple months didn't look good. It didn't look like we were heading that way. But I think we got to give Carlos Mendoza a lot of credit, man. Carlos Mendoza, he's really showing that he is a good manager, and he has the pulse of this team, man. He has the pulse of this team, and he's really figured things out. First year manager, you got to give him time and see what happens. I really wasn't too impressed with him the first couple months, but I knew I had to be patient, as we all knew we had to be patient with him. So you know what? He's doing a good job out there, and he's got the pulse of the team. And I didn't like the starting pitching coming into the season, but he along with Pete with the pitching coach Hefner, they have done a solid job of piecing things together, especially without Kodai Senga, who's missed most of the first half. He's missed most of the first half. He was their best pitcher, and when he comes back, he looked great that day, but he got injured again. So at the end of the day, this team is really following suit with their manager, and that is a good thing. And we got to give the manager a lot of credit for that. And I feel like he should be I'm not saying he should win the manager of the year, but you know what? He should be a candidate because he deserves a lot of credit for this team. A lot of credit. And they are in the wild card hunt, and that's what I want to talk about right now. The New York Mets, they are in the wild card hunt. They are 2.5 games behind the Atlanta Braves for that final spot. And I tell you, man, if they want to get this wild card, listen, the Braves are an injured team. They're missing a lot of players. Okay, we can't ignore that. We can't ignore that. They are missing a lot of players. They're missing Acuna, who's probably their best player. But shocker, he's always hurt. But when he's hurt, he's one of the most dynamic players in baseball. He's hurt. Riley's been hurt. Albies has been hurt. They've had a lot of injuries to that team, starting pitching as well. So this is a golden opportunity for the Mets to steal that last spot. And it just seems like every time they come close, something kind of goes back. They lose a game to a team they shouldn't lose to. Listen, every game is crucial this time of year. And losing series to Oakland, losing series to the Marlins, who are always a pest in our sides, for a long time, but nevertheless a team they should beat. Okay, losing to those kind of the Rockies, losing to those teams come back to haunt you in September. So the New York Mets, they have to beat the teams they need to beat. Hopefully that does not cost them later. We will see. But first things first. These last stretch of games in August, they are going to be crucial. And I say it again, crucial to getting that wild card spot. Okay. They have on this road trip currently, they just beat San Diego the first game. They lost last night to them, got shut out against greasy-eared pitcher that we all know is full of it, but that's a story for another day. I don't even want to talk about that guy, but we can't hit him for some reason, no matter who's out there. But they so far they split the first two. The Mets have to win this series. They got to get these next two games. They already have the tiebreak on San Diego, which is a very, very big deal. But Arizona and San Diego most likely are too much out of reach for the Mets right now. So they have to figure out that last spot. However, in tiebreakers and all of that becomes a factor. So it's a good thing they do have that tiebreaker on San Diego. So these next two games are crucial in San Diego. They got to beat them, hopefully win the series. If they don't, so be it. They at least have the tiebreaker on them. But as far as we trying to catch the Braves, the Mets are 2.5 games behind them right now. So these games, you got to win them. You got to win them, especially when Atlanta's playing the lowly Washington Nationals right now. So we got to keep pace, win that one. The next series they have is 3 against Arizona, another team probably too far to reach. Arizona's figured it out, man. They were in the World Series last year. And let me just say, for those who are saying, hey, who cares? The Mets are not good enough to go on a playoff run and they get in anyway. Well, you know what? A lot of people said the same thing about the 2 World Series participants last year at this time of year. Arizona, who predicted they were going to go to the World Series? I would like to see that. Anyone out there? All right, there you go. Okay, that's one. Number 2, Texas Rangers last year, who won the World Series. At this time of year, they were floundering and almost coughed up a playoff spot, okay, with injuries to their team. They ended up winning the World Series. So you got to get in. As they say, you got to be in it to win it. I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen if the Mets get in, but if you're in, anything can happen. So Arizona's found their way. They have gotten hot here in the last couple of months and recent weeks. They're on a roll. We got to find a way to win that series up and coming after that, because the schedule then gets very hard and very difficult in September, man. Very difficult in September, okay? And this is going to decide it, of course, all right? That September schedule, they open up with, first of all, there's 33 games left starting in September, well, altogether. But in September, they have 3 against Boston at home and 3 against the Reds. Then they go to Toronto on a road trip to Toronto and Philly. Tough teams. We all know Philly's leading the division, but they have to go to Toronto for 3, and then they have to go to Philly for 3. Then they have the Washington Nationals. Listen, the Mets can't get tripped up here. It's September. They can't keep losing games. They have to win. So that is a crucial series, and I need a sweep at home, okay? I don't want to hear no excuses. I don't want to hear nothing. They have to sweep that team at home. So they'll have 3 with Washington at Citi Field, and then 4 with Philly at Citi Field. We all know Philly's a tough team. We don't know if they're going to have the division locked up by then, but that's what it is. Then the last week of the season might actually decide it all, because, of course, it comes down to Atlanta. Just like in 2022, that late September series where the Mets got swept, all they had to literally do was win one game, and they make the playoffs and win that division, and they coughed it up. So that last week, of course, at Atlanta once again, which I think probably might decide the wild card standings in that and for between those 2 teams at that time, because of course it's just destined for the Mets to do that, okay, to have it come down at Atlanta. So the last 6 games of the season at Atlanta and at the Milwaukee Brewers, who might have something to play for, we'll see. Okay, so in those last 33 games, in my opinion, they have to go at least 20 and 13 to get to 86 wins. 86 wins should get you a wild card spot in this National League wild card race with the extra team now added. You got 3 wild cards. I feel like 86 wins should be enough. 33 games left. You go 20 and 13. That's 86 wins. Can the Mets do that? Absolutely, they can do that. Absolutely, they can do that. Okay. And I'll tell you why they can do that. Because Francisco Lindor is playing at a MVP type level for this team. Okay. All you guys out there that were killing freaking Lindor since he's gotten here, well, guess what? The man is showing, first of all, he's the leader of the team. Okay. He's always been the leader of this team since he's been here. Okay. He's the leader of the team. He's the best shortstop in the National League. Anyone want to argue with me about that? You go right ahead. I'll put the numbers up. The man is an MVP candidate, and you can't deny it, okay? This year, and I know he gets off to slow starts like a lot of players in this league. Shoot, Aaron Judge got off to a slow start, and look what he's doing. He's killing the league. He's the best player. Besides Ohtani, he's the best player in baseball, okay? Turning into a Hall of Famer before our eyes, So, some players just get off to slow starts, but it's not about how you start, it's how you finish. And this man is balling out. His numbers, look at these numbers. First of all, he's the top player in the National League in WAR. That's one thing, okay? Even better than Ohtani, okay? So let's get into that, All right. 268 batting average, 25 home runs, 73 RBIs, 25 stolen bases, and 819 OPS. Okay? 819 OPS. Think about that. A shortstop, 25 homers, 73 RBIs, 25 stolen bases. This man is well on his way to becoming the first Met shortstop to go back-to-back 30-30 seasons, okay? So all those Lindor haters out there, it's time that y'all give this man his respect, give this man his due. He is a great player. Listen, you want to talk to me about the contract? Listen, there's a lot of players that get overpaid, okay? But you know what? This man, the last couple of years, is showing that he deserves what he got. So let's stop the Lindor hate and appreciate what we have, because this man is becoming the best shortstop in franchise history, okay? So Met fans, give the man a break. Let's see what it is. Let's see if he can deliver and help us one day become a World Series champion, something we have not done since 1986, okay? Another stat for Mr. Lindor, if you want to break it down. Runners in scoring position. How many big hits has he gotten for this team since June? Where will we be without Francisco Lindor this year, with how terrible the bullpen has been, okay, and how up and down the starting pitching has been? No Senga, okay? Pete Alonso struggles with runners in scoring. We'll get into that in a moment. This man is hitting 257 batting average, 354 on-base percentage with runners in scoring position, okay? With 5 homers, 44 RBIs, and 6 doubles. That's all in runners in scoring position. And again, the eye test doesn't lie. This man has stepped up and had big hits after big hits every time we need it, man. So let's hope we can go and do that. Also, the starting pitching, man. The starting pitching has been better than I thought, as far as what we have. They've done a good job. First of all, Quintana stinks. Let's get that out the way. We need Singer back. He's been bad. Okay, he's been bad. He's a vet, but he's been bad. We need Singer back. 6-9, 4.57 ERA. He's been bad. But the 3 guys I want to highlight, okay, for this starting pitching. First of all, Severino has been good. He's been up and down at times, but he's been good for the most part. 9-6 with a 3.84 ERA. The guy that's really stepped up in the second half, Sean Manaea, 9-5, 3.54 ERA, has been balling. He's just been a very good, very, very good pitcher for us, and a lot of confidence lately when he takes them out. He's been pitching very well. Okay, and the surprise to me has been David Peterson out of nowhere. And I know that sometimes he can only get to 5 innings, but the numbers are the numbers. He's done a good job, and the Mets have done well in his starts. He's 7-1 with a 3 ERA. I didn't see that coming. I mean, he's had a very good second half, and he is helping this team get good. So if those 3 pitchers can just maintain what they're doing, and hopefully we can get Senga back sometime in September, then you know what? The Mets have a decent chance to sneak in there and get that last wild card spot. The bullpen ERA has been bad. We know it. It's been bad. We're getting Nunez back. I believe we got Nunez back to go in that 8th inning again. So hopefully that'll help. And Ottavino can get the hell out of here because he's been terrible. And, of course, Edwin Diaz can continue his climb back to himself. His ERA is down to 3.41. He's been pitching very well. So let's hope that happens, But hopefully the Mets can keep that moving. And we also, I think, need to talk about Pete Alonso, because Pete Alonso needs to step up, man. I mean, there's no doubt about it. You want to get paid what you want to get paid after the season, okay? Because from what I see, for what I have seen, I have not seen the Pete Alonso that I am used to seeing, especially with runs in scoring position in the last 2 years. But yet this man wants to get paid Aaron Judge money. Well, you know what? We can't do that. We can't do that. We can't do that. So if he's going to play like this, his numbers just with runners in scoring position just aren't good, man. It hasn't been good. There's been a time that he is basically was hitting under 200 for the year with runners in scoring position. Well, it's up to 218 now. But how many times have we seen him hit a home run with a big lead or them down with a big deficit? We need the clutch hits like Lindor was giving us, like guys like Vientos, who I'll get to in a second. hitting 218 with runners in score position, it's not going to get it done. So if we can get a big September from Pete, I think the Mets will be in decent shape. Mark Vientos, man. You know what? I love this kid, man. This guy looks like he could be a future star for these New York Mets, man. I have said since last year, I liked his bat, but I wasn't sure about his glove. Well, you know what? Lindor took him under the wing, helped him in the offseason, train and helped him at third base, and he's come at least adequate right now at third base, and hopefully he can continue to improve because the bat has been there this year for this kid. Okay. Mark Vientos is having a tremendous breakout year. Okay. He's been hot lately, and I've noticed that Mendoza's riding that hot bat and putting him in the 2-hole lately as well, which is a good move. Mark Vientos, 278 average, 334. He's had a 334 on base percentage. Okay, pretty good. Okay, couldn't be better. But he's got 20 homers, 20 doubles, 54 RBIs, and an 884 OPS. This kid has been balling. He has really been playing well, and he looks like he is the future third baseman of this team. I mean, he reminds me of Carlos Correa, young Carlos Correa with the bat. Just power to all fields effortlessly to the opposite field as well. I think this guy has a bright future with the bat, and if he can just maintain levels and get better with the glove, we got something at third base here, you know. So I just think if we keep doing that, we will be in good shape. But all in all, let's see if the Mets can do it. I hope so. 33 games left. If we can go 20-13, man, if we could just go 20-13, man, I think we have a good chance to snatch that last spot in the wild card, man. I really do. It's not going to be easy. We all know Atlanta's a thorn in the side, but you know what? As it should, it's going to come down probably to that last week in the season. So let's see if we can get it done. So that's that. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Born for Sports. I'm out. Let's go Mets.